just looking through your latest shots. They're all phenomenal, as usual. Some I remember because I helped develop. I helped
Now, you
develop a couple of
develop
these.
everything, bro. What do you mean?
This is great stuff. So do you think? Let me ask you a question like this: Do you think your life and the ups and downs in your life are reflected in your photos, or when you approach photography, when you step out of the door and you're looking for a scene or something that interests you to photograph, do you think the things that have happened throughout your life are the things that you pick up on when you're looking at something to photograph?
Nah. Uh-uh.
Like, do they relate in any type of way?
Nah, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. Not at all. It's purely intuitive, and mm, yeah. I grew up hunting and fishing, and if I could, the photos that I would take right now have nothing to do with what I see outside my door. But growing up, being out in the marsh in the morning, or being out on the bayou, or being on the side of a road with a broken down car, um, those are moments that I would have liked to have captured on in a photo. So walking outside my door right now, it's just whatever touches me, however things play. Um, but it has nothing to do with the way that I grew up. I admire your work because you actually make a statement. You go out and, if you were an attorney, you'd be a freaking ambulance chaser. I see all the cops and everything. I'm like, that god
That's
dang
right.
Miguel, man. He has, he really has an axe to grind. And I think that that's what's needed, you know? So, you know what? By me saying that, I've reconsidered my answer. Maybe it does have something to do with the way that I take photos, you know?
I've heard you tell a lot of stories because I'm very attentive. So sometimes when we go on our walks, you tell me these stories, and sometimes as I look through your photography, it may not be the subject matter or maybe the things that were happening at that time in your life, but the way that you're telling me and kind of what you learned from the situation, I see it. That's what I see in your photography. It's almost like the things that the universe has taught you throughout the years, or God, or whatever you want to call it. I can see those reflected in your photos when you tell me, when I hear these stories, kind of in a way. I hope that makes sense, but it's something like that. Like the summarization of the stories that you tell me about the things that have happened in your life, I can see represented in your photos. Basically,
Yeah.
is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, I think that your photos tell more of a story than mine. And maybe it's because I'm so close to mine that I don't see them. And maybe it's
Yeah.
because you actually listen to my stories, um, that it gives you
Well, we
some
two weirdos
gateway.
walking around, so we gotta. I'm
Yeah,
listening
well,
to the stories.
that's one of the things, when we walk around, it's not the destination, bro, it's the journey. And so while we're on that journey, the thing that we should do is to be able to, and when I say entertain, I mean inform one another in an entertaining way. It's very important,
That's right.
to inform one another in an entertaining way. You actually inform. And I think that maybe,
I try.
if I stretch it, I entertain some kind of way. I don't know what it may be, but um, yeah, I admire your photography for that. You tell a story, and it's a relevant story. It's what's happening right now. It's what we see every day, and you actually capture the struggle. I just walk outside and I have a grocery list, and um,
I feel like
I
you're putting
see
yourself
something,
down,
and
man. You're one of those guys that I look at like, oh, hold on, my camera. You're one of those guys I look at like, whoa, I gotta get my shit together. I need more of a purpose because at one point I thought I was just spraying and praying, maybe not continuous mode, just spraying like that, but
mhm.
I feel like I was trigger happy for a while. And then I would look at your work and I'd be like, okay, I need to slow down a little bit. I still take a shitload of photos, but not as much. Not as much.
Yeah. Well, I've, you know, hmm, hmm. Yeah. Well, it's really nothing like being on the street, and there's so much, going
Right.
on.
Right.
So it's really hard to make a decision. It's really hard to make a decision. What will I shoot until the time comes? And a lot of times I'll just take photos, basically maybe to warm up or something, or just to get myself started.
Mm-hmm.
But I think more or less it's kind of like a warm up, you know. Let me just get the camera in my hand. Let me look at the light. How should I expose it? Because I really don't want to think about those things when the time comes. And you know, I like lights and shadows a lot, really and truly. You know, um, Fan Ho is a. I'm a big fan of Fan Ho,
Oh yeah.
and I like the angular um, compositions that he would make. So usually I know exactly my settings. I know exactly where I'm going to be shooting, but uh, I get lost in my own words. Um, I'm just fishing. I'm really fishing. I'm fishing for a shot. I'm gonna wait.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually gonna wait for the shot. I'm not gonna just go out and shoot, 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 shoot. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait until that one thing comes that really captures my attention, or I'll park myself in front of an area where I think that a nice photo could be made, and that's about it. There's no big thinking about it. The thinking has already been done before I left. I think about what I want. I think about what I would like to see. I actually sketch things out, and I
That's
think that
interesting.
it kind of primes me for the moment, if and when it comes. And I don't always capture it. Probably 10% of the time, I might get a shot. I'm just having fun.
Me too, man.
That's it. Yeah, that's the whole objective, man. I mean, really and truly, if you're not enjoying what you're doing, then why the hell are you doing it? It's just like life. You don't enjoy your life, whatever it may be, whatever you've been dealt out. If you're not enjoying it and you're not making any effort to change it, then what are you doing? Same way with photography. You can take 1,001 shots. If you don't like them, then change up you need to change up the way that you're doing things. You know, and by changing that up, I don't mean by looking at Instagram. I'm talking about grabbing a photo book. I'm talking about grabbing an old copy of National Geographic. I'm talking about grabbing something, and even going to a museum and looking,
I had one right
learn.
here too. I was about to break out a photo book. I had that Gary Winogrand like right here. I put it over there somewhere. No, I'm constantly. That's good advice. I'm constantly looking for some new inspiration
Yeah.
or some new knowledge.
No, it's funny that we're actually having this conversation because I walked out of the house today and I left my camera in the house.
Mm.
And the inner dialogue that I was having with myself was like, I really don't feel like shooting anything. I really don't have any inspiration. And then our old neighbor Charles threw something up about a local photographer, and I was looking at it and I was like, wow, yeah, that's a lot of inspiration right there. In black and white, that's beautiful. And as fate would have it, I go out and I see a guy on a bike with a cowboy hat. I'm like, oh crap, and let me run back in and get my camera so I can go ahead and get the shot. And I knew while I was looking for my camera that the shot wasn't going to be there when I got there. You know, um,
Which camera?
35 RC. Yeah, I like small rangefinders.
Olympus, right?
There's something to be said, Miguel, about, and I'm not crapping on Lycas, yeah, because I always envy your
You can
Lycas.
if you want to,
But
man. It's fine.
yeah, but you know, you're an exception. Remember that night we went out and we saw these guys hanging out with these Leicas around the neck? It reminded me of
Yep.
back in the mid '80s when everybody was walking around with these car emblems
Oh yeah,
on
like the
these big Dookie
BMW.
chains.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, they weren't doing crap with them. And I'm like, look at this. You
Yeah.
know,
It
this
was
is
like a fashion statement.
yeah. And I like to be able to go out with an ugly, crappy looking camera and make something beautiful with it. And you helped me do that because you developed the film. But I like that because you know you really don't need to go out. You know, like I sent you a quick text earlier. My wife went out with her camera phone the other day, and I was nonplussed, and I was like, okay, you went and you found a miniature and you took that picture. She was like, no, that's what I
I saw
saw.
it too, man. It is a nice picture.
I was like, wow,
Hold on,
that's a
let me look at
beautiful
it again.
photo. You know, it's what the best camera is the one that you have in your hand at the time that the photo needs to be made. Yeah, yeah,
Can't see it too well on the camera, but
yeah.
yeah, it's
That's
awesome.
it. That's it. You know, um,
Is this what you call it? New York, right?
yeah. She went to the city.
Grand
I was in
Central Station.
Barcelona, and let me tell you something. I was in Barcelona, and you know how many photos I took while I walked the streets in Barcelona?
None.
None.
I knew it.
Not one. Not one.
There's nothing wrong
Just
with
walking
that,
around
man.
with a camera.
There's nothing wrong with that.
You know, we'll have fun, take pictures, and put them up on Instagram and say, "Oh, yo, I was in Barcelona. Check this out." The same cliche images that we always see.
That's right.
You know.
And sometimes you just need to enjoy yourself. You don't always have to take pictures.
Oh yeah, and I did. I met like my dog friends and stuff. Man, there's a dog named Lucas. Me and him are tight. Uh, there's the Ross dog with the little blue braids that got scared because it was San Juan, and the dog was running because the fireworks went off, and I had to go get Lucy and pick her up and take her back to the owner. It took like 20 minutes. That was a whole damn freaking issue. Um, there are a lot of things that went on, and those things that went on are the one thing that we call life, and life is meant to be lived. Photographs are meant to be made. But you can't make a photograph if you're not living life correctly. You got to be able to actually be appreciating life in order to realize the moment when it comes up to make the photograph of it. And the present moment was much more valuable than a photo at that time. I don't have a problem picking up a camera and doing a Bruce Gilden and sticking it in someone's face, but um,
Yeah, I don't know if I could do that, man.
I
And
was actually,
that's
yeah.
it's not my style. It's just
No,
not my style.
I was vibing with the moment.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing.
Well, just to go back
That's,
to the to go out with a shitty camera thing, I bought Leicas. One when people didn't really give a fuck about. You remember? I had a Leica M2 for years. It barely worked. I saved money, and all my cameras are still kind of all fucked up. But I've had them for years, so that's, you know, that's why I use it. They're just they're all the same. I can use the same lens. It's you know how it is. You get into a system and then it's over.
oh no, dude, there's a big difference because you know that day that we went to where were we shooting? I know I was shooting like some 30-year-old expired uh, Ektachrome, and you handed me your camera and that viewfinder. I was like, God dang, man, this is a
Which one? The
whoa,
M6?
whoa, this exists. It was like seeing through new eyes. So yeah, there's something to be said about a beautiful piece of equipment which you have and you
Yeah.
appreciate, and I appreciate it as well. But um, you know, I'm a smash and grab type of country guy, man. I just snatch shit and just shoot with it,
Yeah.
you know. And I guess that could be my background. You know, I'm a Southerner, and you know, I come from a long tradition of people who know how to take 15 cents and make a dollar. You know, I always tell my kids, the dude that first cooked chitlins was probably the coolest dude on the plantation because you took something that no one wanted and turned it into a delicacy. And I see a camera the same way. You know, take something that no one can appreciate, something that's not what everybody else is shooting with, and do something with it. Make it yours. Learn it, and you learn a lot about yourself in the process.
Now, you and I did a show recently. Can you hear me well, Grant? Was there like an echo or
Yeah,
something?
now I got the volume turned all the way up, but you know I'm old and hard of hearing.
No, I just wanted to. All right. Well, what was I gonna say? You and I did a show recently,
Yeah,
which was, I think that was. We did a show before that years and years ago, right? This was like our second
yeah,
or third show together, something like that.
yeah. We did a couple.
But this is the first one you and I organized on our own.
Hmm.
That was a hell of an experience. I want to make some comments on that, but I want to hear how you felt about it first.
Okay. You want me to tell you what
Yeah,
I felt about it?
I want you to tell me first before I give you my comments. How did you feel about the event and everything?
Um, actually, wow. Think about it. I really enjoyed it. You know, I think that it was, in a way, it was a very intimate ordeal. Yeah, it was really nice. You know, it was impromptu. We
Yeah,
were
very
rushed.
very impromptu.
Okay, we were rushed.
Oh yeah, Staples
Um,
fucking up. It was an issue.
but it was still great. It was
Yeah.
still great. I mean, I think the greatest thing about it was is the fact that it did have an element of intimacy, where you had neighbors or people who remember the older lady that came through and was saying, "Hey, I got all these pictures at home.
Yep.
I would like to be able to do something like this." So you had people coming and making it touched them. It showed people, you know, a different perspective of the things that we pass every day. Um, so it was very,
I don't know if you
yeah.
remember this day.
it was it was more than anything, it was encouraging.
Exactly.
You know, it's one thing to be encouraged by your peers, because then you'll think because they're your peers that they may have a certain element of being informed, but you know they're not laymen. But when you have people who you don't know, who may not be photographers, who may be photographers, I'm not a photographer, I'm just a guy with a camera. But when people off the street walk in and say, "Wow, you know, this photo really speaks to me. Can I buy this? I know that spot. Um, I remember this day. This reminds me of the time that I got hit in the mouth." Whatever. Um, they connected with the work, and I think that that's the most important part of any art form. You know, being able to connect with people who are separate from you, the artist. So that's what I feel about that show.
Yeah, it's interesting. There were artists there, mostly people that we know personally, but the rest of were just regular people off the street,
Yeah,
and they loved it.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. That's a cool thing.
yeah, that was, and like you said, that lady. I think she came a couple of times, right? She came like 3 times and
Hmm.
just hung out with us.
Yeah,
The way that I feel, well, the biggest thing for me was definitely the reaction from the community,
from the
because
whom?
from our community,
Hmm.
and also people from other places that I had no idea were even looking at my stuff. Like people showing up. Long story short, guys who see this later, Staples fucked up my the sizing for my frames and every. It was just a
Yeah,
fucking
yeah, yeah,
issue.
yeah.
So what I did was cut everything into poster board or postcard size images and just displayed them on the table and gave them out for free.
Yeah, but those things went like hotcakes,
Like
bro.
hotcakes. People came from other cities to come check out my shit. I was so happy. They were asking for
Yeah,
me to put the date and my name, my signature on each photo. They were just like, "I love your shit. Oh my god!" Like, yo, is that digital tactic? Oh my god, you guys! Oh, I didn't even know you guys knew each. There was somebody that came in that didn't know that you and I knew each other, but I don't know if they came for you or for me, but they loved us both, but they just didn't know that we knew each other.
But and that's funny. But it speaks volumes about the world that we live in because everyone's connected by the internet, but no one really. I shouldn't say it like that because that's a gross generalization. Um, a lot of relationships are superficial, even if you know the person
Absolutely.
in real life, and if you know them from online.
Yeah.
Um, there's a degree of superficiality, because we have busy schedules. We're inundated with so many things that we must do, okay, or we think that we must do. So we don't have the time to cultivate a relationship. But the fact is that here in Jersey City, we're really fortunate. I mean, we have Leo with his secret laboratory down in the basement with all of his 4x5s and huge format. Forget large format, huge format.
You're talking about Fuji guy,
Um,
right?
we had Charles who took off and he had to, move out. We have you. We have Daquan Sweeney, who is
Yep.
like Jersey City's version of you know who I want to say. God dang it, I can't think of his name now that I'm talking.
Which one?
Oh my God. I used to always call him Black Einstein, the photographer. What's his name? He has a whole photography center dedicated to him.
Parks?
Huh?
Gordon Parks?
Gordon Parks. Thank you. Thank you very much. You get old and, you get old timers.
It's all right, man.
Um, and that's Daquan. I mean, I love to watch his work.
Oh yeah.
There's so many of us.
Yeah.
Well, very few, but the few of us that are here,
Yeah.
we all know each other and we all appreciate one another, and we all give each other, some type of concrete criticism. Oh, I like that. Oh, you could probably do better. The other day you put something up and I was like, every last fucking one of these photos is a winner, man.
Thanks, man.
And if I don't like it, I'll just put it like thumbs up.
That's why most of my
You
photos
know?
just have that on it. Like,
Yeah, just okay. Well, try again, son.
But let's talk a little bit more about what you were like, photographers from Jersey City.
Yeah.
How we all know each other and how we kind of we are in a way, I don't want to say competitive, but we definitely push each other, right?
Yeah.
Especially if we're all shooting in the same city. It's kind of like,
Yep.
you know.
Well, I mean, Jersey City is only so big.
Yeah.
And excuse me for my limited aesthetic appreciation. There are just some parts of Jersey City that I won't photograph just because I think that they're insipid and have no taste at all. So, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 3 places that I'd like to shoot. And I generally shoot just 4 square blocks. Anything that's on my way to or from the grocery store. Seriously, to or from the grocery store. And sometimes I might make a detour through, India Square. Sometimes I might make an excursion into the Heights. Some days I may just find myself in Greenville.
Mm-hmm.
Some days I might find myself in downtown and wonder what the hell I'm doing because there's really nothing to shoot there.
I try my best. I try my best, dude, because
I've tried.
yeah, it's
The only thing to shoot
yeah.
downtown are dogs. I'm being very serious
Yeah.
because they're appreciative. You might want to delete that.
Fuck that. It's staying in. We're starting with that.
But
It's very generic downtown. What do you expect? Like, these people, whoever's would be
it's
pissed,
cookie
they know.
cutter, bro. It's cookie cutter.
Yeah.
It's cookie cutter. And and now that they're this is being gentrified right here. Right here in Journal Square.
Yeah.
I mean, look, like I told you at the beginning, I grew up with an appreciation for National Geographic. I'm talking about a kid thinking about places like Central Asia, Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, okay,
Yeah.
Africa. I'm talking about all of that, the Silk Roads. These things informed me and piqued an interest and and many things, and many people and many cultures. And right here in Journal Square, we had that, and it was beautiful. To walk outside, salam alaikum, walaikum assalam, namaste, everything,
Hmm.
any language that you can think of. I mean, how many languages are spoken here in Jersey City? I believe there's like 80 languages spoken
Yeah.
here.
Yes.
Okay, in a very small urban um,
Population.
environment,
Yeah.
if you want to say that. And all of a sudden now it's changing at a rapid pace, and everything is, I got to go pay $5 for. I don't pay $5 for a coffee. I'm cheap. If I walk around with a $2.50 camera to make photos, I sure as hell ain't gonna spend $5 to $7 on a coffee.
Is
I
that
do
how much
bodega
coffee is
coffee.
now?
Huh?
Is that how much coffee is now? $5?
Well, I think.
Oh my
I don't
gosh.
know.
I don't.
I have like 20 Starbucks cards in my wallet that I don't use. I just give them to my kids. I don't do the big coffee place. Well, that's a lie. That's a lie. There's one spot over off of St. Paul's that I might stop in every once in a while and have a coffee over there because I like the people.
Okay.
But most of the coffee that I drink is bodega coffee, you know? Just a regular coffee. Yeah, but it's cool. It's change. Here we have to embrace the change that we have, and um, it gave me a project for a while. To shoot the towers going up, to see the changes. Um,
Journal squared.
yeah,
That whole thing. So stupid. What kind of
it's
name is
it's a
that?
monstrosity, bro.
Yeah, it doesn't even look right in this. Like, I don't know.
But at the same time, I sit there and I think, I'm like, oh man, look at all that glass. What kind of reflective light are we going to be getting?
Yeah, the
You know?
photographer.
Yeah, I start thinking about that. I actually thought about that. I'm like, yeah, we're going to get some reflective light
the
right
light.
here
The
on
light's
this.
really good over there too right now,
Yeah,
especially by the
yeah,
hot dog stand.
so it's all good.
Yeah.
We're not gonna we're not gonna stop it. We're not gonna stop it. And what's the use in actually getting upset about it? I mean, what good are you doing yourself? You know, by getting upset. Um, you just have to adjust and adapt and keep rolling.
We gotta move with the roll with the punches, right?
Yep.
So let me ask you. Do you think your approach with your digital photography is different than your film photography?
If my approach with digital photography.
Is different than your approach to film photography?
Oh, yeah,
How
yeah,
so?
immensely, immensely. With digital photography, um, I'm very much more daring. And when I say daring, it means that I'll fire off 4 shots, 3 shots, in order to make sure that everything is just right. But I'm not just, with film, I got one chance. And I'm not saying that one is better than the other.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm saying that I prefer to shoot with film because I sit back, I stop, I think, I shoot. And it's just like life, instead of shooting off at the mouth without thinking, just consider what you're going to say. Um, make sure that it's said correctly, and then say it. But with digital, I got so many chances, man. I'm just going to take this shot, take this shot, take this shot. Does this look good?
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time, I might take my digital camera out just to frame things up. And if I don't have my digital camera, I just whip out my phone and I'll use that and frame something up and squeeze off a couple of frames. And either I'll take the shot with my camera or I won't.
I've seen
But
a lot of
for
people do that on the streets. Actually, they'll have an extra camera or something, and they'll frame or meter using the digital camera, and then you see them break out the film camera.
nah, I
I've seen
really
people
don't.
do that.
To tell you the truth, bro, I don't like to. I really do believe in packing light. I believe in packing light. Why did you know if you have that other camera with you, you're gonna distract yourself most of the time.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna miss out on photos because you're sitting there, chimping, looking in this, in the view in the screen, the LCD screen, and all of a sudden that one photo that you were actually envisioning, it just walked past you. I mean, I can tell you how many times that's happened to me.
Right.
Because had I'm sitting here looking and I'm thinking, oh, you know what? If I see this, and all of a sudden I see it, but I don't have my camera ready because I'm playing around in a virtual world while the real world is passing me by. So, um, yeah, shoot with one or the other. It's all good. I mean, if I was on a photo shoot or something like that, and
Hmm.
everything was static, I can see the reason for having a digital camera. But on the street, whether I was walking with Chris one time in search of, and I'll never forget it. I told him, I said, "Yo, look, the frame is in a constant flux. It's always freaking changing. It's not this. You do not step in the same river twice, and the street is no different from that. So while you're sitting there looking at it, I mean, shadows change in a minute of in a matter of 5 minutes or less, and situations change even quicker. Expressions, gestures, you know, the dynamic, they change so quickly. And while you're playing around looking at something, you miss out on everything. So just be ready, just appreciate. And if you don't get the photo, bump it, keep going. A better one's coming, you know?
I used to be the guy holding multiple cameras way back.
Nah,
I don't know why. And
nah,
DSLR days too, those big motherfuckers with the big lenses. 70 to 200 on one, and
nah,
the other one had like an 85. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing?
nah, man. Just give me my one little camera, let me walk and
Yeah.
chill and stop, have a beer and shoot again. And maybe I'll squeeze off, I might squeeze off 5 frames, I might. I might squeeze off 5 frames. And then, but sometimes when I'm walking with you, you got this energy about you, so it's very contagious. I'm thinking, oh shit, man, I'm missing out on something. Miguel just
Fucking,
went through a roll.
I'm running
I just got one
around.
frame, you know? Sounds like Vietnam over there. I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, you chasing the cops. And I'm like, yeah, there goes Miguel. The cop's best friend,
Oh, the birds
Mr.
too.
Miguel Peralta. Should
Something
have
with
been
the
a
birds.
friggin' attorney.
All right, so I have two more questions, and then
All right.
we can move on. Maybe we do this again soon. All right, what was? You don't have to tell me exactly what photo it was, but what was the last photo that you sat and looked back? Like, what was the feeling of one of your own works that you sat back, looked at, and was like, "I am the man. I did that." And what was that feeling like?
Mm. Mm.
Because I know you've got some bangers. Even at the show, there was a couple you were like, "Yeah, that's my fucking shit right there. I did that."
Mm. You know what it was? It was this one photo of this kid from Honduras. And yeah, it was that one. It's a very simple photo. There's nothing very fantastic about it at all. It was everything that happened in between the photo. It was the conversation. And I think that most of our photos, we have an attachment to our photos, and it's always emotional. I don't think that we're very objective when it comes to photography because we have an emotional attachment to the moment that we made the photo, during or before or after. And it was hearing this kid's story, you know, and learning not to judge people. Um, he, he, yeah, he had a hell of a tragic life, you know, and it's the fact that when you don't know someone and you make it's not an intimate portrait. It's not like it was, you know,
Like he was naked or something, right?
yeah. But when you make the portrait, when you connect with the person and they say, you know what, yeah, I'd love to that you take a portrait of me. I might not be here tomorrow. Because my wife is dead, and she was, carrying my child, and this is why I'm here, and
Right.
this is why, I'm strung out on crack. This is why I dealt with everything that I dealt with, and I wish I could go back home to my mama. But yeah, please take my photo. Yeah, that's the last photo that really spoke with me.
You said he was Hondur. Was this in Honduras, or where was it? Where was this? Was in Jersey, or
Could you repeat that, please?
you said the it was a Honduran kid or a man,
Yeah, yeah, he was Honduran. Yeah,
and this was in New Jersey. This was in Jersey City.
he was in Jersey City on my strip on Kennedy Boulevard.
Wow,
And he's like, yeah, yeah,
that Kennedy Boulevard. I tell you,
yeah,
you
right there
find
where the Rite Aid used to be.
ah.
Yeah.
The last photo that I actually, it's one that I looked at recently. Um, I think you were there too. You might have been there. It was right across the street from White Castle.
Hmm.
Um, at that convenient, it's where whatever that spot is that we bought the picture frames at, the
Yeah, at
Indian
the
store
bus
in the
stop
corner.
right there at the
Yeah,
Dollar Tree.
yeah. There was a kid standing outside. I don't know if you remember. I think you were there. He had carved Jesus into his forearm with a knife, and he had it scarred over. And he told me his story, and he had a girlfriend or something, and then as he was about to enter college, something happened. I guess he had a mental breakdown, and he became homeless. Um, and I just remember he was like almost finished with the last S, like it was still cut. Well, I mean, it hadn't healed yet on his arm, but I was talking to him like he was one of like just a regular person. I'm just like, hey, what's up, man? How's everything going? Oh, he tells me about his life and shit. We're talking, and then like I broke through whatever he was presenting himself to the world as. I started speaking to the actual person behind it.
Hmm.
He was just then I felt kind of into this, into more of why he's where he is now, and that's where like it really led to it. Like, holy shit, man! I gave him $5, man. I was like, yo, here, man. I hope you can get to where you gotta go, man. Like, can I take a picture? He was like, yeah, of course. And then that's when he showed me the scar on his forearm that he put there. But
Yeah, that's the thing about photography.
I feel like I made a
Certain
friend.
aspects of it, you'll find yourself. Most of us are out there with our cameras, and we're looking for that one shot that defines the world around us. But once you start looking at your photos and you start thinking about the reasons why you take the photos, or the things that, even though it was an intuitive impulse, it begins to tell a story about your own inner workings. Okay. And that's a beautiful thing, because it becomes Zen like. Who was it that said, I don't have a philosophy, I just have a camera?
Mm.
Um, that was
Elliot Erwitt?
Lighter.
Lighter. Oh,
Solid.
Saw Lighter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. No, I don't have, I do have a philosophy. It'd be a lie if I said I don't have a philosophy.
Mm.
I have a solid philosophy, but it doesn't get in the way of my photos. Okay. My philosophy is mine. I don't share it with anyone. I keep it to myself, because it's an owner's operator manual. My philosophy is not going to work for you. It's not going to work for the next guy. And not even a piece of my philosophy will work for someone else, because it's attached to so many other moving parts that have nothing to do with one or the other. But they're all based in our upbringing. What we grew up with, what we grew to understand in the world, or how we define ourselves, or how we define others, and how things make us feel. So yeah, man, my camera is my therapist. Okay. There's not another human being that can tell me what I should do or what I shouldn't do, because inherently and innately I know what I need to do, or what I should have done, and how I can make amends. And my camera actually allows me to do that. Very simple. I just have to listen to myself.
It's hard for some people to do, right? Listen to themselves. I don't know, man. I think your photography is incredible. This is the last question.
Go
This is
ahead,
this is
shoot.
this is the one that I struggle with also. And also, this is even the question's kind of leading, so you could even make fun of the question I'm about to ask you. What is there an end goal? Is there a finish line? If there is, what does that look like? Do we just create? Because I think every photographer struggles with this, right? Are we? I don't want to say cursed, but kind of like in a way, we're creating content for till we die, till there's no more cameras, till there's no more life, till there's nothing to photograph. We're photographing forever, right? Is that what is kind of? We just have to accept that and keep moving, or do you expect kind of
Dude,
okay? I put out a book, I'm done, move on with life, like.
dude, there is no finish line. There is no finish line. And
So this is it. This is life.
no, there's no finish line.
Yeah.
If you have a finish line, you're fucked up. You're washed up. You
Yeah.
have no motivation. You have no passion. That means that whatever you were doing in the past was just to get over a fucking line. You know, life is always about learning. If I'm blessed to live to 90, 99, 70, 62, I can bet you, I can tell you one thing. I will spend my last thoughts in trying to learn something new. And photography is all about learning something new. It's always about learning to see something differently, learning to see yourself differently, learning to see the mundane world in which we lived in differently. It's about peeking around the fucking corner that you've always seen. I was in Barcelona last week, man, and I went to this one little spot that I've never been to because I never go that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, wow. If I had known that this existed, it wasn't anything. It was mundane as hell. But I met really great people. I sat down. I spoke with people that I didn't know, just the same way that I speak with homeless people that I speak to in Journal Square. I felt fucking right at home. They're Sly and the Family Stone. I'm everyday people. And because you're everyday people, you have something to learn every fucking day. And the moment that you stop learning,
That's right.
just go ahead and nail the fucking coffin shut and go to sleep. There's no finish line.
Can I just
There's no
say,
finish
people,
line
we
until you
need more.
close your
We
eyes.
need more Sly and the Family Stone in the world. Like, people
We
need.
need what?
We need more of Sly and the Family Stone music in the world.
No,
Like,
no, man.
we need more of
No,
that, man.
you
I
know,
miss that band.
I don't think that the world would be able to take it if we had more Sly and the Family Stone.
Oh
Sly
man,
was he
it's
was
one of
a
my favorite bands.
sledgehammer, bro.
He was a savage, though, right?
Yeah, his whole band, actually.
Yeah,
Now,
that's right. Yeah, they all did their own thing. All right, we don't have to talk about that. But yeah, so it's one of my favorite to listen to. Um, I remember he tried to start a fight with Muhammad Ali. Do you remember that during the interview? He was trying to like make fun of Muhammad Ali in some TV show. It was very strange. He was drunk as shit too. But and you know Muhammad Ali, he was straight. He was straight edge because of the nation. So he was kind of making fun of Sly, and then it looked like they were about to fight. It was very weird.
I think Sly might have would have taken him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he had the funk on his side. Oh shit.
All right. Well, I think I agree with what you were saying about that not being a finish line. I think I just needed confirmation because that's how I feel. I don't see this stopping anytime soon. I don't see this as something that I plan on just, we're just gonna do this for a couple of years and then stop and do some other, like, nah, man. The more you see me, the more you're gonna see me with a camera. Whoever sees me out wherever, it's just, you know, And most of the time I do it for free, so let me just document wherever I'm at,
Yeah. Well,
you know?
you know, um, if you do it for free, it doesn't cost you nothing.
Exactly. And who, hey, I might get your good side. This is people, I understand they're just not used to seeing people with taking pictures out like that. But I feel like once they see our work, like this is one quick thing about the show. That was probably, and I told you some of the pictures that I wanted to put into the show, I took like 5 days before the show. Like we were
Mm-hmm.
out somewhere, and I was like, holy shit, this is the best shit ever. But I felt nervous about putting it out because I didn't know what the reaction of the community was going to be. Some of the people, obviously, 9 times out of 10, we don't ask for the permissions of the person for the photo. But I believe that even the people that saw people they knew in our photos on the wall, I believe once they saw it in the way that it was presented, they were like, "Oh, this ain't no this isn't some creepy shit. These guys are making art out of us, out of you know." And I think that was like a concern of mine, in when we first were putting
Yeah,
the show
there's a
together.
huge difference between seeing something on your camera, on your phone, and seeing something in person printed out.
Yeah,
There's a huge difference. And there's a huge difference in your appreciation for what you're looking at. And you can step back from it and look at it. And I don't care if it's a huge print or if it's an 8 by 10 or 4 by 6. If you can pick it up and hold it, you know, it gives a sense of place in the world. While you're swiping on your phone, it's not even there's no afterthought involved. It's just gone. Again, it doesn't even register. It registers, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't have the same impact, I don't think. I mean, there's some photos that I don't care if you see them in print or if you see them on the image on your phone, they're impactful. Okay, they're impactful. But the average photo even has something on top of a more than average photo, just because of the fact that you're holding it in your hand. And that's just my opinion. And opinions are like ears. Everybody has them, so it doesn't really matter. It
one
is
last
what
question.
it is.
So,
And it's only for me. That's the way
as
I
we both know, it's a continuous thing. We're gonna keep hitting the streets. We're gonna keep working. We're gonna keep putting on content. Why do you think it's so difficult? It seems like Instagram's kind of made it easier for people to kind of put their content out, but before that, books were kind of like the primary source of seeing a collection of people's works, right? Maybe a magazine at the most. But now we have
Mhm.
Instagram, so I feel like people aren't doing books like that. Or what I think there's a limit of 10 photographs per post. I wouldn't consider 10 images a book, maybe a zine, I don't know. But why do you think it's easier for people to continuously make the work, like make the photos, do the developing, scanning, blah blah blah, post it on Instagram, call it a day? Why do you feel like that's the easier thing than people actually creating like an accumulation of a physical medium to present and sell to people? Whether it could be a digital magazine, but it seems like we still have those same problems getting a magazine together. You know what I'm saying?
Why do I think that?
Yeah. Why do you think people have such a struggle with publishing their own works, basically, like publishing your
Oh
own work?
man, that's that's I think that's a simple question to answer. Number one, because we're inherently lazy. And I can sit in the morning and while I'm having my coffee and look at my camera roll and say, you know what, screw it. Let me just throw a couple of photos up there real quick. I don't have to give it a second guess. I don't
Right.
have to give it a second guess. I don't even have to make an investment. Okay. There's no investment on my part, to post on Instagram. I can just go, throw 10. And, guess what? Because of the algorithm, probably none of my friends are going to see him, and they're not going to get that much exposure anyway, because everybody who has, like, I don't know how many 10,000 followers. Let's just give an arbitrary number.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that crap. I don't even I don't even appreciate their work, but it's going to get thrown in my face. Books take work. Images need to be paired. Images need to be edited. You have to really see if they kind of work together, you know? And you have to have stamina because after the first, I don't know how many photos, you're like, oh man, it sucked. Let's throw these last 20 photos in together and see if they stick. But yeah, I think that's why it's easier for us to post on Instagram or easier for us to put videos up on other platforms because it's just the touch of a screen and there's no thought into it. It's just impulse. A book takes thought. It's not about impulse. Every page counts. Every image matters. Instagram is just Insta. It's just a gram for that instant. You know what I mean?
Instagram.
Hey man, it's just a gram for the instant. Pushing pixels, pimping frames. You don't want getting pimped and getting pushed.
You know, in the beginning, it was good. I used to only see photographers, or like subjects that I was interested in. Now it's kind of like how you said. It's just I have to look for your profile to see your latest stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I open up my phone, and I'm not being vulgar, but I like animals, and I see a video of a monkey taking a crap, and it falls and hits another monkey in the head. How did I get there?
I thought you were gonna say something even worse, but that's pretty bad.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna mention that. But the
Probably
monkey
think there's
didn't.
something wrong with me if I tell you what I see on my shit.
Yeah, So why? Does it make sense? No, it doesn't.
I just feel like a lot. The reason why I asked this question is because mentally, I guess I'm kind of like old fashioned in that way, where I think that after every set amount of time, you publish some sort of work. At least that's what and you're talking to like I'm saying that I haven't even done that. I'm just saying, but in my mind, that's usually how it works. We have a couple of years of some solid work, then you sit down, make some sort of, publication of your work or zine. Or
Yeah, solid
something.
work is actually really hard, man.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. Solid work. It's really hard. Um, it's not easy. And I don't have any.
That's not true.
you know.
I'm looking at it now, man.
So don't use those two terms together. Solid work. Ooh, goddamn, son. It's not
It's the
easy.
name of the book right there. Solid work.
Yeah, solid work. Yeah. Hollow endeavors. but it's nice and it's fulfilling and it's something that we do because obviously we enjoy doing it. And if there was no enjoyment, why would we do it?
Anything else, real quick, you want to say to people that maybe they're thinking about picking up a camera because they like your work and I don't know something that they
No,
can use as a starting point.
I think I've said too much.
You gave them too much of the secrets.
Actually, I think I've said too much. There's a golden opportunity in anonymity. And when you don't have an opinion, you just walk around and you're no one. That's a golden opportunity to be everything you ever wanted to be.
I think that's all needs to be said. Thank you, Grant.
All right.